Thank you.
In the April 27th meeting of the subcommittee chairs, this was discussed of which teachers would become lead teachers. And Tom Tomberlin discussed creating an assessment in EVOS that would score teachers' impact on the teachers around them. How is that not merit pay?
I can't speak to whether Tom's intent when he made that comment was to recommend that we should have merit pay. Merit pay, to my knowledge, and I'm doing this from memory, we are not discussing merit pay in our subcommittee. When I've interacted with the other co-chairs, the other 7 co-chairs, we are not discussing merit pay. That is not something the co-chairs or in any consistent way members of the subcommittee are discussing that. Tom and other people may have said that in the context of the subcommittee meetings. Tom is not a member of PEPSC, and Tom is not a member of the subcommittee, any of the subcommittees. Tom and the staff at DPI support the logistics and the organization. In our particular subcommittee, as Hank and I chair our particular subcommittee, when we are of the opinion that DPI is moving beyond facilitating information and they're shifting from that into they're actually making recommendations or they're imposing assumptions about what's supposed to happen, we push that back. We back that back out of the conversation that we're having. So Tom does attend the meetings and Tom does speak on occasion, but Tom is not in a position that he can impose a merit pay model on the process.
But the DPI would be in charge of implementing this plan, right? So Tom would be in charge of the implementation, the actual policies created, the communications to teachers, how the plan works, how it's assessed, how it's measured, all of those things DPI would be in charge of those things.
With the state board.
Right. So when DPI says, oh yeah, we're going to create a measurement in EVOS that decides which teachers make it to the highest levels and which teachers don't, you can see why teachers don't trust the PEPSC subcommittees who say, oh, but that's not merit pay. We go, that's not what DPI is saying, and they're the ones who are going to actually implement the policy. And when this goes through the legislators have been very vocal that they've wanted merit pay for 15 years. Right. And so this looks like a plan that is primed to be taken by the legislators and created back into a NC finals, merit pay program where only some teachers get to be those lead teachers at the very top.
To answer the question you specifically asked me, do I think Tom Tomberlin by himself unilaterally can impose a merit pay system on the teaching profession in North Carolina? No.
That's not what I asked, though. I asked, is DPI the one who's going to implement this plan?
I do not believe, from the, let's say the structure as is currently drafted holds. From the apprentice model up through licensure 3, and then significant parts of licensure 4, because that's when you're in that threshold of moving into that, in that status in the profession. Any of those decisions that are policy related that would have to be approved by the state board would come back to PEPSC. PEPSC does not currently have embedded in the way in what I can see in the minutes and when I am able to attend the meetings or hear recordings is not discussing this in terms of a merit pay plan.
Right, but that's not the wording they're using. But it is some teachers will get paid more than others based on measures of performance. That is the definition of merit pay.